everything I entered into my local fair. They said I could enter as many things as I wanted as long as they were distinctly different from each other. And I may have laughed at that a little bit because that's what I do. I love making distinctly different things. So I was like, okay, well, let's pick out the best of the best. And so I picked out 14 different items that I thought were great and entered those. And I thought, you know, maybe I could win a ribbon. That would be pretty cool to have a ribbon. Maybe even a blue ribbon, because that's like the best. That would be great. That'd be so cool if I could win a blue ribbon. I'd never entered anything into the fair before, so I was like, no idea what the odds are. Might be kind of cool. May as well try it. And my kids entered some things, and my husband entered something too. So fun, not pottery stuff, different stuff. So we entered the paperwork ahead of time. On a couple days before the fair, we went and dropped off our items. So I had this big old crate full of all these heavy things, all packed up in bubble wrap so they didn't break on the way. And it took a while to get everything checked in. It was pretty slow. But then we went a couple days later on opening day and the fair, and everything had already been judged. And I was like, oh, let's go to the tent first, or the building first with all these, where all these were on display. And a bunch of like thousands of other items. And because I was like, the suspense is killing me. I want to see if I get a ribbon. And I turned the corner and I could see this sticking up because it's a little bit tall. And I could see that it had a ribbon with it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I won a blue ribbon. Like, I won a blue ribbon. How cool is that? It was super cool. So I entered this oil bottle, as you can see, and it got a blue ribbon. It was so cool. So I thought that was such a neat experience, and my kids were finding their stuff, and they got blue ribbons for their drawings and things, and my husband got one too. So it was like, so cool. Oh, we all have at least one blue ribbon. But I was like, I have 14 items in this big, giant, full room. More like a warehouse sort of type huge building. So I'm like, you know what? I want to go find my other stuff. And some of it was in different places. And so, but I found this, my pitcher, my drippy pitcher, and it had a blue ribbon. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have 2 blue ribbons. How cool. How awesome is that? And then I found in a different section, this was in like the fall, autumn section, was this pumpkin. So this one was a little tricky to find. This one had a red ribbon, and I was like, hey, cool. So I have a second premium ribbon too. That's nothing bad. Like, that's awesome too. I'll take a red ribbon and 2 blue. Super duper cool. And then I started seeing some more things like this spoon rest that also got a blue ribbon. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting so many blue ribbons. A lot of these things were in the pottery section. Like this planter was with some of the other pottery, so it was next to a lot of these other things. And I could see that it had gotten a blue ribbon. Oh my gosh. Holy cow. It's like, okay. I was like really hoping for maybe 1. Like, that'd be cool. That would be so cool to have a blue ribbon. But what was I up to at this point? Like 4? Oh my gosh. So I'm still looking around, trying to find more pottery. This oil lamp rather, also got a blue ribbon. Like, holy cow. Oh my gosh. I'm getting so many blue ribbons. Super cool. Yes, this comes out. That's the wick. Don't turn it upside down. Okay. And then I saw my big platter over here. My sunrise platter. And I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure this one's really cool. Maybe I won something. I'm overly critical of my work, so I'm like, but it's got a couple little glazed flaws. Maybe it didn't. Maybe it's a red ribbon. I don't know. Nope, it was a blue. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting so many blue ribbons. This is so cool. And I had my plant impression plate. I'm rather proud of this one. So I gathered some stuff in my yard and did an impression of it, and I think it's pretty neat. That's my favorite of them. And it got a blue ribbon. So I was like, oh my gosh, I have so many ribbons. Like, I entered 14 things thinking maybe I'd win a couple ribbons. So cool though. All right, this one, my big giant, see how big this thing is? Look, compared to my head. I don't have a small head. This is a big, big vase. My big giant graffito vase. I was like, oh, it's so cool. It's like one of the bigger things I've ever thrown. Super cool. Maybe maybe that would be one to win a ribbon. And sure enough, blue ribbon. So, like, oh my gosh, so many blue ribbons. And then I had my drippy mug. I really like this one quite a lot. Someone's going to be super happy with this one someday, or maybe I'll finally decide to keep it. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, this one is really cool, and it won also a blue ribbon. Oh my gosh. It's just like mind-blowing to me. So I work alone in my own little studio. So I don't have a lot of like feedback from people who aren't family and friends kind of thing. So love my family and friends, but I feel like they might be a little biased, you know? So when it's like, no, like an actual person who judges the fair year after year and has seen how many pieces of pottery is like, no, actually your work's really great. Like, oh my gosh, how cool. So I also found this donut amongst the other stuff, and it was labeled with a blue ribbon, and I was just seriously mind blown looking at all this stuff. And I know I'm like being all excited about it, but I was so excited about it. And then I've got this lidded container. It's quite cool. Rather proud of this one. I like the way I did the lid. It's kind of fun. Got these ridges. Pretty cool. I threw the handle in with it. An open handle. Anyway, this guy also won a blue ribbon. There it is. All right, so at this point, I'm like counting up, counting. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm missing 2 pieces. I went back a few times to the different places that I'd seen my stuff. Like, I'm missing 2 pieces. And I went back over my photos, and I'm like, what pieces am I missing? I'm like, I'm missing my big bowl that I think is just gorgeous. Love this bowl. And I'm missing my Easter egg basket with the Easter eggs. I think I called them colored eggs. They're definitely Easter eggs, but I figured eggs, fair, it'll still work, right? So I couldn't find these anywhere. Like, they're not in the seasonal sections. They're not with the pottery. Where are my pieces? Like, please tell me they're not lost. There were so many pieces in that room, but we just kept looking around. And finally I was like, there's only one place we haven't looked. It's that one section with all the special awards. I'm like, really? I mean, like, where are my pieces? So I'm like, well, we haven't looked there. So we go over there, and in this glass case, like everything else is just out on tables and stuff, but in this glass case is this. And I was like, oh my gosh. That is so cool. So with this bowl was a blue ribbon. So I was like, cool. So I have 12 blue ribbons at this point, 13 ribbons. So cool. But then I saw this and I was like, oh my gosh. I got a special award for it too. Look how big this ribbon is. Like, comparatively, like, this is a big dang deal. This is a big deal too. This is a big dang deal. I was like, oh my gosh. So it says special award, and then it's got the state seal and the fair we're at. Anyway, it's got ruffles. It's like a foot long. It's huge. It's so cool. So I'm like, oh my gosh, one of mine won a special award. How cool. Like, I thought that bowl was great, but whoa, that's so neat. And then, where's my Easter egg basket? So, a few pieces down in the special award section, in this same glass case, are my Easter eggs. I was like, oh my gosh, so cool. So, for this Easter egg basket, I also got a blue ribbon and another giant special award. How cool is that? Oh my gosh. And I fully approve of which ones they decided got the special awards. Of these pieces, those are probably the 2 best. So I'm like, yes, you guys did a good job judging. So I was like, oh my gosh, 2 of my pieces got a special award. That's amazing. And then we went out and enjoy the rest of the fair. We saw pig races, we saw a magician and a hypnotist and a high dive show, which was super cool. They dove into this like 10-foot tank, which I didn't think was deep enough from how high they were diving. And we just had a blast. And later on I got to thinking, I'm like, but how many other pieces of pottery were in that special section? Because it was a variety of crafts and arts and crochet and quilts and all sorts of stuff. So I was like, how many other pieces were in there that were pottery? And so we went back and I looked, and there were 3 pieces of pottery in the special award section, and 2 of them were mine. Oh my gosh. There were only 3 total. Like the rest, a lot of the other pottery got red and blue ribbons, but of the special awards, 2 of the 3 pottery ones were mine. And so maybe I'm actually kind of good at this. I could use a confidence boost, trust me. And I am just mind blown. I entered 14 pieces and got back 16 ribbons. I thought maybe I might get like 1 or 2. Need to work on my confidence, apparently. Anyway, it was a super cool experience. It was awesome to see my kids get blue ribbons and some red ribbons. And my husband as well got a blue ribbon. And I am just thrilled. So these are going to be going up on the wall of my studio. And it's a lot of them, so I'll have to find an open spot. But yeah, so totally cool to enter the fair. Loved seeing my pieces on display. And it was so cool getting some feedback. So it was awesome. And I will see you guys next time. Be sure to check out this video next. Bye.